Hey friends and neighbors, welcome back to another episode of Somewhere Downrange. And today I kind of would like to subtitle this episode Overall Impressions. Now, glad you guys stopped by. Glad you waited until Labor Day. I know you got your weekend on. I don't expect a lot of people to see this until like Monday. Today's lesson, boys and girls, and what we're talking about is the application of the pump action shotgun as a home defense unit. Now, it's just hard to argue with the fact that it can be an absolutely very 100% effective piece of equipment to have around, and one of the best. Mossberg 590A1 retro, decked out, tacked out. Just very few buttons left you can put on this bad girl. I'm gonna say that if you're breaking into somebody's house, you're trying to assault someone in their property, Mr. Bad Guy, you probably ought to go some fucking where else. Take, for instance, that camouflage bad guy right there. Got himself covered in vines sneaking up on us. He's got a knife in his hand. Don't he know I've already got a knife? Bad day at Black Rock. You can go through 9 rounds pretty quick. Stand by. Hey folks, welcome back to another wild and woolly episode, maybe not, who knows. Somewhere Downrange, I'm your host, Brad. Thank you for coming out to hang with me, and I hope I didn't tease you too hard on the coming attractions. Let me tell you something. I put out a video 5 weeks ago that's got like 125 views, and the coming attraction got damn near 300. And it's just a picture of this and a little bit of talking, not much. So it seems like people might be still a little bit excited about looking at the Mossberg 590A1 retro all decked out. And let me tell you, I can't blame them. This is a fun damn gun. And it's one powerhouse. It is a mean SOB. She is a killer, baby. And let me tell you something. I like 870s. Loved them for a long time, and I still kind of do for certain applications, but let me explain. Dual op rods and dual extractors, 9 rounds in your hand, and you can put a goddamn knife on the end of it. Can't do that with an 870 as far as I know. Alright, so we're just going to get out here and do a little quick video. I'm testing buckshot for patterning, and I'm going to be testing it at my normal ranges that I use if I'm in a defensive mode. Get out of here, girl. Go on, get away from the backstop. Jesus Christ, fucking cows. Pardon me. You got to get the girls out the way. You don't want them to get hurt. So I'm just testing something I haven't found a lot of in any of the gun stores I go to, but I found it at Walmart. Number 1 buck. I hadn't seen that shit in years. And I like number 3 and number 4. But they had some number 1, so I wanted to try it. So I've got 2 little boards up. Now obviously, those in the know that the barrel on this has no choke. It is a cylinder bore barrel. It is a combat shotgun. It is tactical. It is riot. It is combat. It is 9 rounds of get the fuck out my house, out of the yard, off the farm, and down the damn road, way down the road. So all I'm going to do is use the patterning distance that I normally test with, which is 12 steps, 36 feet. That's the distance from the back of the end of my hallway where my bedroom door is located to 2 steps into the kitchen, and see how that patterns, because that's the least secured end of the house, so to speak. So Got a board up there, gonna get back at 36 feet or 12 steps. Gonna load in some number 1 buck and shoot that board, then we're gonna load in some number 4 and shoot that board and see how she does. Now, when I got out here, I wanted to go ahead and make sure the sights were on for slugs because different slugs, different stuff. Now, as you'll see, this has the ghost ring sights. Big tall rifle sight on the front. This elevation knob on this ghost ring sight, I'd take that puppy up about a quarter of an inch above where it was from the factory, because at 25 yards you got to crank that puppy up there. Now that was with Winchester 1-ounce rifle slugs. Who knows, if I put in some 3-inch Federals or some Brentkes or some of that other stuff, I may have to adjust it back down. But I did a couple of shots with just regular bird shot to test the pattern, and they seem to be going just about the same general area, so that's pretty good. But take a look at this target, because you'll see that although I was having to make adjustment after adjustment after adjustment, impacts were walking up until I got rounds where I wanted them. And at 25 yards, that's plenty with slugs for a shotgun. Although, if you're good at Kentucky windage, you can make a little bit longer shot. All right, stand by. Let's get the camera angle changed. We got the target boards up. And let's see what kind of patterning we get with number 1 buck and number 4 buck at 12 yards. Out of the Mossberg 590A1 Retro. Handheld. Arm operated. Shoulder fired. Bad guy getter. Stand by. All right, folks, got our boards up. Target board on your left, gonna be number 1 buck. Target board on your right, gonna be number 4 buck. 12 steps. Let's see how they do. I think she's gonna be quite impressive. Stand by. All right. Target on your left, running at 36 feet. Average engagement distance around my house on the interior, number 1 buck, and we're going to run 2 rounds each because, you know, when it comes to defense, double tap. Hey, you, bad guy, get the fuck out of my kitchen. Woo! I bet that stung like a bitch. All right, let's throw some number 4 buck at that right-hand target. Stand by. 2 rounds, number 4, coming at you, bad guy. Whew. I think even the wadding would hurt his ass. Stand by, let's take a little look at this up close and personal. What do you say? Alrighty then, now, this is number 4 buck, and I really like number 4 buck. And if you look right here, you just got that big ass hole where a lot of that shot column stayed together. You have some satellites. That's going to be a devastating wound. There's no doubt about that shit. That's going to be bad. That's tearing it up. And, you know, even if you backed up another 10 feet, still going to be pretty dense, pretty solid. I'm liking that. But let's look at the number 1 buck, shall we? That is an extremely even pattern for 2 shots. Mainly center mass. My point of aim was right here. It moved just a little bit. There's center of the groups. That's not bad. That might be me. But what gets me is there's just a much more even pattern of the number 1 buck than there was with the number 4. That's some mean shit. And that's extra stuff you gotta fix. When you're trying to fix, you know, lung tissue, aortas, hearts. That's a whole hell of a lot of holes. That is one big hole on the number 4, I will admit. They're both patterning pretty good. stand by. Alrighty. Now, what would Labor Day be without a little celebration by tearing something up that really deserves to be torn up? Let me tell you something. I have an issue with Walmart, an issue with Walmart China. This stuff is heavy. Let's see just how heavy it is. Stand by. Got one round of number 4 buck, one round of number 1 buck. We're going to see the difference in its reactionary stability. I think it ought to be pretty. Stand by. One round of number 4 on the left, one round of number 1 on the right. I think this tears some shit up. Woo! Oh! I should have shot it falling. Stand by. This may qualify as a new game. 2 plates up, one just the position it can fall. All right, here's the number 1. Woo! Now that threw some shit everywhere. Stand by, let's do that again. All righty, let's try that shit again. That was fun. All right, one round of number 4 on the left, one round of number 1 on the right. And this time I'm gonna see if I need to have to catch the other one while it falls. I really want it up there when I shoot because it gets a good debris pattern going. Guess I'm gonna have to do that. Stand by. Methinks I need something a little less flexible. Let's just leave that one in. All right, one round, number 1. Here we come. Oh yeah. That's fun. Stand by. All right, now. It may seem like I'm out here just assholing around, kind of checking the stuff, having a lot of fun. I'm also doing some very important testing. I have to make sure this weapon's going to operate, function reliably. Yes, it is built like a shit brick house, and it is from people who have built shit brick house shotguns for a long, long time. But every one is an individual, and to an extent, has its idiosyncrasies. You got to look for those with every weapon you buy. Okay, so far I'm. Oh, it goes back to the subtitle of the video. Overall impressions. So far, I'm very impressed. Let's do a little final test. We're just going to run eight rounds, pretty fast. Not going to try to set a speed record. I'm just looking at seeing how she does under pressure. All right. Now that there helium jug, well, it's seen better days. That's for damn sure. Yep. It's like John Lennon and Paul McCartney said. Happiness is a warm gun. Stand by, let's do a little after action report. What do you say? Yay! Oh, folks, let me tell you, I've been having a lot of fun today. Had one of these years ago when they first came out in the 80s, and I really regretted getting rid of it. Now I'm glad I've got another one. I tell you, I just can't find anything on this thing to kick about much. If I had to try to pick something I could kick about just a little bit, and this is just a minor thing and it's really no big deal, as you've seen from its ability to hit the target. This sighting system, you know, the ghost ring sight, they're good. They're good. They work good. But with Winchester 1-ounce rifled slugs, just your plain Jane bottom shelf off the Walmart, behind the counter shit. They're not bad. I mean, it shot them accurately. You saw that in the picture, just stacking them up as I went, but I don't know how much further up I can take that spindle before it unthreads itself out of the receiver. I mean, the top of that ghost ring is basically even with the top of those impact wings. So, and it's throwing shot pretty good. In fact, I could probably back it back down a little bit because the shot pattern is actually coming in just a hair low of where the top of the side is. And I don't want that. I want it to be a hair high. And because it's sighted for slugs, shot columns are going to be different. They're going to be different velocity. They're going to spread out. They're going to slow down. So I can drop that down a few notches, probably maybe 1/8 of an inch. Because they're really, once I did the last 3/16 of an inch on adjustments, my slugs stayed right where they were. So I don't know. Might have been me. But, I mean, you saw plates, jugs, patterns. Yeah, it's doing a fine job. That's the only thing I could really find to kick much about it, if anything, and really I wouldn't kick about that at all. That's something you can adjust in and adjust out, right? Other than that, all steel, no plastic internals, dual op rods, dual extractors, and one hell of a smooth action. Now, granted, it ain't gonna feel like that new out of the box. I did one of the things I always do when I get something of a configuration like this. I went home, took it completely apart, cleaned all. If there was very little trash in it. There was shipping oil, but there was no millings, no grunge, no grinds, no burrs. It was clean inside. But I gave it about 100 pumps. Anywhere where I saw wear marks starting early, I polished those. I made sure everything was fitment right. And then I put a bunch of zero friction oil in there and I jacked this bastard off 1,000 times. Yes. 50 pumps per session. 20 of those bastards. But she's nice and smooth now. I guarantee you. Now, you can't get that handle to fall like a Model 12 will, but that's because it's designed differently. But it goes right down and it comes right back. So she's getting sweet, really sweet on the action. I love these things. And it's just, man, that's 9 rounds of holy shit, let's go somewhere else. Well, I think that's all I really got to say about it. All the good stuff in that one little thing on the sights. Other than that, I love these things. I don't really think there's much, like I say, you could do to it unless you wanted to. And I thought about this. Just because of this issue, I've thought about this. They make a rail, and it's drilled and tapped up here. You can put a rail on here and put a red dot, Reflex, EOTech, something like that. And a good buddy of mine, Tom, at the Turkey's Opinion, just happens to have one of these, and he's got a red dot on his, and he does some damn fine work with his. So maybe that's in the near future for coming attractions. Who knows? I've got the sight. All I need is the mount. All right, folks, I hope you guys have a happy Labor Day. I hope you enjoyed tearing some shit up with me for a little bit. I'm glad you stopped by. I hope you're having a great Labor Day. I hope you're having fun with your family. And any of you guys that aren't in a place where you can have a good time with your family, when you're not with your family on this Labor Day, my heart's with you, brothers. And you're doing the good work. Keep it up. All right, I'm out of here. I gotta go clean a shotgun and pick up a bunch of busted ass goddamn China shards because we don't want the cows getting them up between their hooves. You guys have a good one. Thanks for stopping in. See you later. Come back, and you never know what's going to be happening if next time you see me somewhere downrange. Bye.